Hey, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to another one of our Pokemon Rogue Emerald videos. And today is going to be the finale video, and of course it wouldn't be a finale video without a technical difficulty. Unfortunately, it looks like my PC has done a Windows update again, and it does mess around with my audio slightly. So unfortunately, the audio for this video was very awful, and I just specifically cannot leave it in. It's that god awful. So we've got a bit of a, you know, commentary style video for our finale to this, you know, adventure, this run that we was currently on. We do in fact beat the game. Spoilers, I know. It wouldn't have said it was the finale otherwise. But yeah, let's jump into it and see what we actually do. First up, we had a strong trainer who turned out to be Pike Queen Lucy. What a beauty she is. She does in fact have a plethora of poison type Pokemon. She doesn't have her signature Seviper. However, she does have a Beedrill, Nidoking, Venusaur, Gengar, Venomoth, and a Crobat. All of which were very powerful. And fortunately enough, KFC was able to take out the vast majority of them with ease. Obviously, with it being a strong trainer, we do get to collect one of her Pokemon, and it does give us the option for Nidoking for that. I think the only one there that I would have particularly wanted would have been maybe the Venusaur or the Crobat. Unfortunately, it offered us the Beedrill, so it's not exactly the best thing in the world unless you get Mega Beedrill, which we don't have access to at the moment. So we do go for the Nidoking, which we name Bonzo. Bonzo is set up as a special attacker. It has a plethora of special attacking moves like Flamethrower and Ice Beam, which will all come in handy. The next route wasn't too exciting. We didn't get too many new things. We got a couple of items, and our encounter was a Delibird, which is great and all, but it just doesn't work for the team. So we did pass on the Delibird and head straight to the next elite member. This member was none other than the Ghost-type trainer Phoebe. First up was Shedinja. Bonzo dealt with that easily with a single Flamethrower, of course it only having 1 HP and Wonder Guard. Next up was a very tanky Dusclops, which just like to Seismic Toss me. Fortunately enough for us, we did manage to take it out with a couple Flamethrower and Thunderbolts. Very tanky, possibly Eviolite. I wouldn't put it past this game to do that to us. Next up was a Pinsir, which I wasn't too comfortable fighting with Bonzo, so we sent out our KFC Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird, which did get earthquaked. However, one Blaze Kick was enough to send it into next week. Her next mon was a Butterfree, which did take out our Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird. A single Blaze Kick was not enough to take out the Butterfree, and it did live, hitting us with a Air Slash. KFC Bird, you will be dearly missed. Latios comes out, finishing off the Butterfree, and then in comes a Sableye, a very spooky mon, or at least can be in the right hands. I don't believe Eon is good enough to deal with this, so I sent out our Zigzag, who gets knocked off in an instant. Not exactly the best for us. Fearing that we're going to get knocked off again and possibly lose our Zigzag, I don't want to lose any more mons here. I switch out and going into our tanky Shell Shock the Blastoise. We get a single Water Pulse before getting a Confusion. Unfortunately, we get burned, and then another Water Pulse is enough to take out the Sableye. Her next Pokemon to hit the field is a Gengar, which is very spooky, holding Focus Blast. Could be very spooky if we had any other mons like our Zigzag still on the field going for, I don't know, a Night Slash or something. Fortunately, if that was not the case, we do manage to take that thing out with our Latios. First elite of the episode down. In the next area, we do come across a lonely Muck who looked like he just wanted a friend. However, life must have been really hard for him, and he used Memento to faint. We couldn't catch it. That meant going into the next fight against Drake, we were going to be 5 Pokemon to 6. Let's hope our Latios buddy can count for 2. The next fight was indeed Drake, who had a plethora of dragon-type Pokemon, which may or may not have proven difficult for us in this challenge. His first Pokemon was in fact the dearly beloved Altaria. My goal here was to Ice Beam all of his dragons into oblivion, so that's what I did. Altaria died to a single Ice Beam from our Bonzo. Flygon was up next, and that also got obliterated by a single Ice Beam. Next up was a Salamence, which landed a huge Earthquake onto our Bonzo, taking it down to just 74 HP. Not with us retaliating with a single Ice Beam, yet again taking out another of his Pokemon. Fearing death around the next corner, I decided to get out of there when Dragonite hit the field and send out a dragon of my own. It did have Ice Beam, however, which we tanked like a champ. Now I decided to play the spam a move and, you know, get tanky and tanky, so that's what I did. I set up a couple Carmines to tank some of those Ice Beams, and then I hit back with a huge Psychic. He had a Latios of his own. Fortunately enough, with those stat increases we had, one single Dragon Pulse obliterated it before it got chance to attack. And last but not least, he had Latias. He had both of the Eon pair. Again, also died to a single Dragon Pulse. And that was another badge for our challenge. The next route had a multitude of duplicate encounters. We did manage to find an Electabuzz, which is a brand new one for the run, so we did manage to catch this, and we did name it Amp, for Amplitude. We hit up another rest stop before heading on to the next Elite Four challenge. The next challenger was none other than Wallace himself, starting out with a level 100 Blastoise. With our newly caught Amp, we put it to the test. With that permanent rain, Thunder will hit 100% of the time, which is perfect against this trainer. A single Thunder takes out the Blastoise. Fearing what Starmie could do, I set up a light screen before hitting a single Thunder to take it out. Lapras comes out and uses Protect, PP stalling our Thunders, how dare thee, before getting taken down to red health with a Thunder. It did then activate its weakness policy and hit us with a powerful in the rain policy boosted Hydro Pump. We live it like a champ. Discharge is enough to finish off the Lapras before Slowking hits the field. Fearing some super strong powerful Psychic type move from the Slowking, I switch out into Shell Shock, tanking a powerful Scald. Since this was water v water, Dragon Pulse does next to nothing against the Slowking, and I do get poisoned in return. I know Omen can finish the job here, but I do switch out and make a poor read, getting hit by a super powerful Psyshock, taking us down to red. One Shadow Ball is speedy enough to take it out. His fifth Pokemon is a Suicune. I attempt the Hypnosis strat, but unfortunately it misses, and we go down to a Snarl from the Suicune. Omen, that's the second time you've died this run. I feel for you, bud. Using a legend of our own, our Latios hits the field and sets up a few Carmines, pretty much just to tank some of these Ice Beams. A single Psychic is enough to take Suicune down to red, and a second to finish it off. His last Pokemon was fortunately enough a Poison-type Pokemon, so a single Psychic was enough to take out the Tentacruel. Defeating Wallace has never felt so sweeter. The next route was pretty spicy as well. We caught ourselves a Dragonite, fixed it up at the rest stop, and then headed to the top to fight our ultimate champion. It was none other than Steven Stone himself. Let's take him down. His first Pokemon was a Skarmory. Of course this was going to come out. It's probably got spikes. It wants to set up some hazards and do some chip damage throughout the fight. I was completely wrong with that fact. It goes for straight up Brave Bird into my Shell Shock and does a measly amount of damage. 2 Water Pulses are enough to take out the Skarmory. Next up was a Forretress. This thing is notorious for exploding. However, it does come out and use spikes. We'll land a Water Pulse, get a Confusion, and it uses Volt Switch, a very annoying Pokemon. Out comes a Magneton. Fearing it was going to do some sort of electric type move against us, we swap out into Bonzo. Spikes take effect and it does go for a Thunderbolt. Brilliant read on our half. Not knowing what to do, it switches back out into the Fortress, which we hit with a powerful Flamethrower. Another one down. Next up was an Aggron, which we murdered with an Earth Power. And after that was a Latias, which does drop a Draco. Major damage. Clinging on to dear life, Bonzo fires off an ice beam, taking Latias down into the yellow. Not wanting to lose our Bonzo, we swap out into our newly acquired Lance, the Dragonite. This Dragonite's so fast it dodges the Draco Meteor and hits back with an Iron Head, taking out the Latias. Magneton makes a return, which we hit with an Earthquake. And last but least is a Lugia, a really awesome Pokemon. I felt it was only right we took this thing out with our own legend of our own. Latios hits the field, sets up a Carmine or two, before hitting with a Psychic. A Psychic and a Dragon Pulse were enough to take out the Lugia, and that is all she wrote. The squad made it to the final. It's been one hell of a run. I've enjoyed every moment of it, and we'll definitely be doing some more of these Emerald Rogue runs here on the channel very soon. At the time of this video being out, I will be on vacation, so the Rogue Emerald videos will not be coming out until I return after May 18th. But if there's been any challenge runs that you want to see, drop them in the comment section below and I will see what I can do in the next video for you guys. Probably going to try some of the monotype runs and also the legend runs. There's a lot of quests in this game that I haven't yet to complete, so I'll have a look and see which one takes my fancy. But if you guys have a recommendation, let me know below. But for now, have a wonderful and safe day, and I'll see you guys all for the next one. Bye for now, guys.